here to talk about sex. But before I do that, I'm going to talk a bit about myself. I come from Alwar, a small city in Rajasthan, which is about 3 hours drive from here. I consider myself extremely fortunate to have grown up in a family that encouraged me to be independent and do whatever I aspire to do. My parents supported me in all the decisions that I wanted to take for myself, be it choosing the career that I wanted for myself or even marrying the person I wanted to marry. And trust me, that wasn't easy for them. They were a part of a very conservative society. They were often told that I was given way too much freedom and they're going to regret it later in life. But my parents never seemed to react, and I was never put under any kind of pressure. There was just this one thing they told me: get education. Once you're educated, you'll be able to create your own road, and then others are going to follow you. Now, experiences I've had as a child have significantly shaped my understanding of human rights. At an early age, my parents taught me to care about issues that related to justice, respect, and equality. When I decided to work on some of the most challenging issues, I knew it was not going to be easy. That was the struggle in my life. I knew it is going to be a journey wherein I'm going to fall, I'm going to stumble, I'm going to collapse. But each time I'll have to get up and get going because I was convinced this is what I wanted to do. I began my career in human rights right after college when I got an opportunity to intern with an anti-trafficking organization in Delhi. Now that was I was excited. I was overwhelmed. I was also confused about my decision of making a career in the development sector and choosing to work on one of the most complex and challenging issues: the crime of human trafficking and modern day slavery. The first rescue operation that I went for and the conversation that I had with an 8-year-old rescued girl was a life changing experience for me. Never before was I more convinced that this is what I wanted to do. It was a crime which involved buying and selling of human beings and people making profits out of it. So far, I have only worked on creating systems of recovery that can truly help these victims, emerge as survivors. And it has been difficult work. It has not been easy. There have been bundles of struggle, but I have never stopped. I have never stopped because I've never stopped believing in what I do, and I've never stopped trying. And that is important. When you take up a cause, you have to believe that you want to work on something like that. Coming back to where I started, yes, let's talk about sex. Now, Love Matters is a project that I hold very close to my heart. It is a multimedia platform that engages with young people on sexuality and sexuality issues from a gender perspective in an open, honest, and non-judgmental way. We use the lighter themes of love, sex, and relationship as a springboard to discuss more heavier issues like sexual rights and gender rights. The topic of sexuality, sex and sexuality and reproductive health has often generated very strong opinions, which are based unfortunately, not on evidence, but on social values, culture, morality, and religion. Sex is so basic to our lives that we would feel we would be open and relaxed and comfortable talking about it. But this definitely is not the case. Even today, sex is considered an awkward topic that raises feelings of shame, embarrassment, guilt, and inadequacy. There are way too many taboos around sexuality and sexual health, ranging from condom use to menstruation to masturbation to first time sex to abortion. And people choose to live in silence and shame rather than talk about these issues. Now, given all the negative messaging we received when we were growing up, and actually I should talk about myself. I'm the 80s kid, so you know what I'm talking about. I still remember my rushed 1 hour biology class with an embarrassed teacher in the class, and of course it did not put us students at ease at all. She didn't want to be there. We didn't want to be there. And for a long time, Bollywood made me believe that, when it comes to sex, a lot has to be left to imagination. We have seen our screams steam up with the flower play. We have seen, for a long time, I believe sex was something that started with the eyes and ended at the toes. And when we did the nasty, we did it behind the tree. But we never talked about it. Of course, I'm the 80s kid. And yes, Bollywood has come a long way. But the fact remains that sex is still an unacceptable topic of conversation in our society. Now, we at Love Matters believe that if people are able to talk about sex, they will be more in touch with their own sexuality and will be able to discuss their sexual likes, dislikes, and boundaries. And that is important. For some reason, we are made to believe that sex is something that will come naturally to us and we will be instinctively good at it. We all would want to believe that, but it's not true. Okay? Yeah. Um, so, talking about it, getting education about it is extremely important. I'll tell you, the taboos actually around sex and sexuality represented a huge opportunity for love matters. Take sexual pleasure as a clear example, because that is something that we used as an example when we started Love Matters. The popularity of pornography uh, points out that pleasure is clearly an interesting way to engage with people online. Right? But the problem with pornography is that, of course, it is not rights based and it focuses on male pleasure, often at the expense of women. They do not talk about safety issues and obviously the health implications. At the other end of the spectrum are the sexual reproductive health organizations that talk about and focus on disease and risk reduction and shun pleasure. Whereas pleasure is really the key reason why people have sex in the first place. So for us, we took this taboo around pleasure as a huge opportunity. We decided to use pleasure as a hook to have conversations with millions of men and women around the globe. And we realized that people were seeing pleasure as a welcome mat to discuss even bigger issues like sexual rights and gender rights. Now, we think that, learning, of course, from the popularity of the pornography and the challenges that sexual reproductive health organizations were having in connecting with their audience, we at Love Matters created a taboo-free zone where learning was possible without fear of judgment. And for this, you mentioned that we received the award by the World Association of Sexual Health in 2013 for being the most innovative sexual health project in the world. Love Matters in India started in the year 2010, at the end of 2010, and we have gone global since then. We now have a presence in Kenya, in China, in Mexico, in Egypt. Very, very difficult regions to operate in. Now, Love Matters is an approach that can be replicated in any country with the help of partner organizations, sexual reproductive health organizations, and you can tailor the content to meet the context and technology of the region. Well, we so far have had about 6 million visits on our Love Matters India website, and we have more than 500,000 followers on Facebook, making us the most popular sexual reproductive health page on Facebook in India. The work that I think I have done in past and the work that I do today has been made possible because of the incredible team that I have been a part of. So I share the success of these projects, of all the projects that I've worked with a lot of other people who have been part of these projects, who have been part of these social movements. I have had the privilege to meet and work with some of the most amazing human rights defenders, frontline workers, and I cannot fathom the courage it takes to fight for what is right in an environment where your lives, the lives of your families and your communities are often at risk. And it is this that drives and renews my passion for what I do every single day. I think work is something that we all do, and therefore it becomes a part of who we are. For me, it is not just a way to make money, but it is also something that shapes us into the kind of people we become. So I think it is really important to love what you do and believe in what you do, because your passion for something brings out the best in you. Today, I am at a very, professionally satisfying phase in my life. My work brings to me inspiration and life each day. I'm motivated by purpose, I'm learning, dreaming, believing, and sharing. And I haven't forgotten to accept and smile at my own imperfections. I tell you that's true. Thank you.